Paracelsus did not deny the transmutation of metals, but warned that the acceptance of this as the primary factor in alchemy was a mistake, and that as a result of this mistake, most alchemists failed, because they failed first of all to set up the transmutation within themselves, by means of which the true understanding of the mystery could be developed within their own consciousness. In other words, as another alchemist said, there are seeds of life in everything. In India and China and Japan, these are called the Buddha seeds. They are the seeds of all essences and substances. All things grow from their own seed, root, or cause. And the cause of immortality is in every created mortal creature. The seed of immortality is in man. The seed of all knowledge is within the human being. The seed of all hope and of all life and of all wisdom and all understanding, all these are locked within the individual. And they must grow as plants grow. They must gradually overcome the resistance of ignorance. They must day by day and year by year spread their life in all ways. The tree of wisdom grows from the human mind. The tree of love comes from the human heart. The tree of God comes from the eternal seed within the consciousness of the human being. So all of alchemy was primarily a release or a revelation, a transmutation of ignorance into wisdom, a transmutation of death into life everlasting, a transmutation of ignorance into wisdom. And all this was done by a very elaborate process. The secrets of transmutation are beautifully and symbolically set forth in a number of works. Many chemists were deceived by the terms, however, and felt that the formulas were purely physical, but they were not. They were all keys to the release of the infinite life locked within existence itself. Transmutation was transformation, regeneration, resurrection, restoration, reformation. All these things are releases of the seed of eternity within time, the seed of life everlasting in the symbolic substance of illusional disintegration. So we take this point to move a little bit to study the subject which is of great concern to us at the present moment, the regeneration of human society. The regeneration of human society. The regeneration of human society. Now, there are many attitudes on this particular subject. Many feel, for instance, today, in the general disillusionment, that the hoped-for restoration is far removed. Others doubt its reality, just as scientists have doubted that gold could be made from base metals. So politicians and diplomats doubt seriously that peace can be brought out of the confusion in human consciousness. Everywhere, dissolution, division, and mortality rules human relationships. This, however, is contrary to universal law. There is within humanity as a collective also the seed of its own regeneration. Everything grows from seed. Someone must plant the seed of peace, or there will never be seeds of peace in the world. In the book of Revelation, there is a tree that bears 12 manner of fruit, which is for the healing of the nations. This tree represents a truth, a reality, a great revelation, growing from a seed in human consciousness. Now, human beings today all have within them the seed of their own perfection. The perfection is not something added. It is something released. It is not bestowed. It is revealed through the internal structure of human consciousness. Today we have many confusions in the world. We have a series of labors that have gone sour. We have attempted to do great things, but they were not the things that were necessary. And in the effort to be great, we have failed to fulfill the natural simplicity of ourselves. We have accepted the idea that fame and fortune are the answers to the human problem. But until fame and fortune are regenerated, until the true seeds within both fame and fortune are restored to their original scientific and spiritual dignities, we will never get anywhere with them. Every mistake, every sorrow, every problem that we have has within it the seed of its own solution. And also it is contributing to the ultimate perfection of ourselves, our world, and our universe. To find these things, we have to begin to search for the keys to regeneration, the keys to restoration. Now it so happens that these keys have not been entrusted to the sky or the earth. They've been entrusted to man himself. Because of those creatures existing on earth today, the human being is the most evolved, having the greatest potentials, having the greatest equipment with which to accomplish major good in this world. The human being has the facilities, the mental abilities, the rational faculties by which he can take the seed of eternity within himself and release it as described in the structure of Kabbalistic philosophy.
Ah, yes, the seed that lies beneath the snow in the springtime becomes the rose.
But in Hermeticism, we begin to sense the beginning of the transmutation of man as the essential purpose of the great alchemical procedure. By the atmosphere around him, by water, and by the rays of the planets and the light of the sun and moon. Therefore, the wedding of the sun and moon in alchemy is very important. Not because we're going to have a wedding up in the sky of the two luminaries, but because we're going to have a union of the principles for which they stand inside of the human body itself. stone in itself represents the body of wisdom, purified.